I was fighting for my life in chemo when I uncovered a betrayal so vile it shattered my world. What I did next turned their lies into a public reckoning they'll never escape. My name is Emily Harper, and this is my story of revenge. Before we dive in, please hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. I share raw, emotional stories of survival and strategy that prove the most powerful revenge is served with cold, calculated brilliance. Let's get started. Chemotherapy was a relentless assault. The chemical tang of the IV dripped into my veins, scorching my skin from the inside. My hair fell in brittle clumps onto the hospital pillow, and the scratchy gown clung to my sweat-soaked body. The ward's sterile hum mocked my fragility, yet I was the one apologizing to my husband, Nathan Carter, for being too weak, for needing him, for daring to exist in this pain. In our early years, Nathan was my everything. I remembered our wedding, his vows whispered under an oak tree, promising to love me through every storm. He'd surprise me with coffee on late nights, dance with me in our tiny apartment kitchen. But now, 7 rounds into chemo, that Nathan was gone. In the waiting room, he'd once held my hand, cracked jokes about the vending machine's stale chips, and murmured, "You're a fighter, Em. We'll beat this." But as the treatments wore me down, his warmth faded. He'd show up late, eyes distant, muttering about work. "The hospital's too heavy," he said one day, avoiding my gaze. "It's draining me, Em. I need space to cope." I swallowed his excuses, too exhausted to fight, clinging to the hope he'd return to me. The day I decided to shave my head was a turning point, a defiant stand against the cancer ravaging me. I begged Nathan to come. "I need you there," I pleaded over the phone, voice cracking. "I can't watch that," he replied, flat and cold. "It's too much for me." So, I went alone to the salon, the buzz of the clippers echoing in my ears. The stylist's eyes glistened as she wrapped my bald head in a silk scarf my mother had given me, its soft blue a reminder of her strength. I came home to an empty house. Nathan texted, "Clearing my mind. Be back late." That night, I curled up in bed, the scarf damp with tears, my scalp throbbing under the weight of his absence. The doctor urged me to stop working, to shield myself from stress. Nathan seized the idea. "I'll handle everything," he promised, his voice smooth. "Bills, groceries, meds. Just focus on getting better, Em." I trusted him. I had no choice. The joint account became his territory, and I retreated into a haze of nausea and sleep, believing I was safe in his hands. For a while, it felt true, until I noticed a change. Nathan's eyes sparkled with a lightness I hadn't seen in years. He hummed while cooking, bought new cologne, seemed too happy for a man whose wife was dying. It was as if he was living a parallel life, one where my pain didn't exist. Nathan's absences grew bolder. He claimed he was attending a mindfulness course to become a better caregiver. "I need to learn how to support you through this, Em," he said, his sincerity almost convincing. "It's about being present for you." I wanted to believe him. It sounded noble, selfless, but his texts became curt, his calls rare. Chemo sessions stretched into lonely eternities, the chair beside me empty, the IV's cold drip my only companion. One night, I confronted him, my voice frail but firm. "Nathan, where were you today? I waited for you at the hospital." He sighed, rolling his eyes. "Em, I told you, the course is intense. I'm doing this for us, okay? Don't make me feel guilty when I'm trying to help." His words stung, twisting my concern into shame. I backed down, too weak to press further, but doubt gnawed at me. Then came his miracle solution. "I hired a mindfulness coach," he announced, beaming. "Her name's Vanessa Reed. She'll take care of you, Em, so you can focus on healing." At first, Vanessa seemed like a godsend, soft-spoken, brewing chamomile tea with honey, arranging my pillows with gentle hands. But something about her grated on me. Her perfume was cloying, like overripe jasmine, and her smile too polished, like she was performing. She knew too much. My test results, my medication schedule, even where I kept my mother's old letters in the nightstand. Nathan started quoting her endlessly. "Vanessa says you need more rest. Vanessa thinks meditation will help." I was the one fighting cancer, but Vanessa was the one invading every corner of my life. One afternoon, Vanessa lingered too long, her eyes scanning my bedroom. "You're so brave, Emily," she said, her voice dripping with pity. "But you need to let go of stress. It's holding you back." I forced a smile, but her words felt like a veiled insult, as if my illness was my fault. When she left, I noticed my mother's pearl earrings missing from the dresser. A chill ran through me. Had she taken them? I couldn't prove it, but the seed of suspicion took root. When Nathan and Vanessa disappeared for a weekend wellness summit in Sedona, my doubts festered. Alone in the chemo ward, I scrolled through Nathan's social media on my phone, desperate for connection. His latest post showed him in a desert sunset, captioned, "Renewing my soul to be stronger for my family." The comments were filled with heart emojis from strangers, but none from me. The post felt like a slap, his joy a stark contrast to my suffering. During a break between drips, I paid for a blood test through our bank app, something Nathan always handled. On a whim, I checked the joint account statement. 3 massive transfers glared back at me. One for $425,000 sent to Vanessa Reed. My heart stopped. The room spun, the IV needle biting into my arm. In that sterile hell, I realized Nathan hadn't just betrayed me. He'd robbed me blind. I stumbled to the hospital bathroom, locking the door, staring at my reflection, pale, bald, eyes hollow. I whispered, "How could you?" Tears burned my cheeks, but rage stitched my heart together. The nurses didn't notice my red eyes when I returned. They bustled past as I sat frozen, the phone trembling in my hand. The screen glowed with proof of Nathan's deceit, but I needed more. I wasn't losing my mind. I was waking up. A woman who wakes up in pain is a force no one can stop, and I vowed to make Nathan and Vanessa feel every ounce of my hurt. Nathan stopped pretending soon after. He'd nap for hours, go out to de-stress, and return with bottles of $12,200 wine, like he was celebrating a windfall. Meanwhile, I lay in bed, nausea twisting my stomach, dizziness blurring my vision, fighting to survive. He treated me like a ghost, his eyes sliding past me as if I were already gone. Worse, he was spending my mother's inheritance, my only security, left to me with her dying words. "Emily, this money is your armor. Never let a man take it." She'd built it through years of sacrifice, teaching me resilience in her final months. When I got sick, too weak to manage finances, I trusted Nathan to handle it. Now, his new linen shirts, his carefree laughter, his sudden obsession with wellness influencers. It all made sense. He was funding a new life with my money, betting I wouldn't live to notice. One evening, I confronted him again, my voice shaking with fury. "Nathan, what's going on with the account? I saw huge transfers." He scoffed, leaning against the kitchen counter. You're paranoid. Those were for medical expenses, charity donations, stuff to help you. Why are you checking things when you're supposed to rest?" His tone was patronizing, his eyes cold. "You're making this harder than it needs to be." I froze, his words cutting deeper than the chemo. Was I imagining it? But the numbers didn't lie, and neither did my gut. The next night, Nathan came home from his summit, reeking of sandalwood, a cheap crystal bracelet dangling from his wrist. "It's for your healing energy," he said, smirking. "Vanessa picked it out. She says it'll align your chakras or something." I thanked him, my voice steady, and waited until he showered to open his laptop. My hands shook as I scoured bank statements, emails, and folders labeled New Ventures. There it was. A PDF lease for a luxury condo across town, Lakeview, marble countertops, paid with a $425,000 deposit under Vanessa's name. My money, my life, my future. Stolen. I clicked through his emails, finding a thread with Vanessa. "The place is perfect," she wrote. "Can't wait to start fresh." Nathan replied, "Soon, babe. Just need to wrap things up here." My stomach churned. They were planning a life without me, assuming I'd die before I could fight back. I printed the lease, my hands trembling, and hid it in a drawer. That night, I barely slept, my mind racing with rage and resolve. The next day, I asked my sister Lauren to drive me to the condo's address. I didn't tell her why, just said I needed air. From the car, parked across the street, I watched Nathan emerge laughing, his arm around Vanessa. She wore my father's vintage watch, the one I thought I'd lost, and my mother's pearl earrings gleamed in her lobes. The sight was a knife to my heart, but I didn't cry. I felt a cold, sharp clarity. This wouldn't end with their victory. You okay?" Lauren asked, her voice soft. I nodded, unable to speak. "Just drive," I whispered. Back home, I sat in the dark, replaying the image of Vanessa's smug smile, Nathan's carefree laugh. My mother's voice echoed in my mind. "Never let them erase you, Emily." I visited her grave that afternoon, the scarf fluttering in the wind. Kneeling by her headstone, I whispered, "I won't let them win, Mom. I promise." Vanessa came over the next morning, her smile saccharine, a daisy tucked in her hair. "You need to stay calm, Emily," she cooed, handing me tea. "Stress is poison for your condition." Her words dripped with false concern, but her eyes betrayed a flicker of disdain. I played the frail patient, nodding weakly, but every gesture felt like a taunt. She fluffed my pillows like she owned my bed, sorted my meds like she was my nurse. When she reached for my nightstand, I snapped, "Don't touch my mother's letters." Her smile faltered, a crack in her facade. "I was just tidying," she said, her voice sharp. "You don't need clutter." The tension hung heavy, but I backed down, biding my time. When she left to buy organic herbs, I opened my laptop and created a folder. Proof. Every receipt, transfer, and email Nathan forgot to delete went in, uploaded to an encrypted cloud drive. I was building a case, and I was dangerous. I contacted Mr. Daniels, the lawyer who managed my mother's estate. In his office, trembling but resolute, I handed him the folder. "Nathan's stealing from me," I said, my voice steady, "and I want him to pay." Daniels's eyes widened as he scanned the documents. Emily, this is airtight. If we take this to court, he'll lose everything. And more." His words lit a fire in me. Justice, not drama, was my goal. One evening, Vanessa left her phone unlocked on the kitchen counter. Pretending to fetch water, I swiped it open. A chat with Nathan appeared, and the first message gutted me. "She's fading fast. We'll have the estate finalized soon." They spoke of me like a hurdle, discussing my inheritance, a fake $50,000 charity donation Nathan claimed he made, and a final transfer to secure the condo. Vanessa sent a winking emoji, adding, "Can't wait to wear her pearls every day." I snapped a photo, emailed it to myself, and returned to the couch, heart pounding but face calm. The next morning, I called Maria, an old friend who worked in tech security. She installed a hidden camera in my living room, no questions asked. The footage was chilling. Nathan and Vanessa moved through my home like I was invisible. He'd kiss her neck in the kitchen, whispering about our new life by the lake. She rifled through my jewelry, pocketing a silver brooch. One night, I recorded them arguing. Vanessa hissed, "Why wait? She's not lasting much longer. Push the lawyer now." Nathan hesitated, then nodded. "Next week, we'll finalize the estate." The camera caught it all, their cold agreement to erase me. I faked worsening symptoms, coughing fits, weak murmurs, knowing they'd let their guard down. Nathan offered, "Should Vanessa stay tonight?" I declined, eyes downcast. "I'd rather be alone." They believed me, too eager to see me fade. But I was getting stronger, my fever easing, my resolve hardening. Sarah, my nurse, noticed during a chemo session. "You've got a spark, Emily," she whispered, squeezing my hand. "Don't let them break you." Her kindness was a lifeline, pulling me from despair. One afternoon, I overheard Vanessa on the phone in my kitchen. "She's so pathetic," she sneered, "clinging to life like it matters. Nathan's ready to move on." My blood boiled, but I stayed silent, recording her words through the camera. That night, I played the footage back, tears streaming down my face. Sarah's words echoed, "Don't let them break you." I wiped my eyes, saved the video, and added it to my folder. I wasn't broken. I was becoming unbreakable. Nathan handed me a document one night, his voice urgent. "This is for a cutting-edge clinic in Vancouver, Em," he said. "It's your best shot. We need a deposit now, $200,000. Sign it, and we'll get you there." I smiled faintly, promising to review it later. Alone, I researched the clinic. It didn't exist. The email was a forgery, the website a cheap mock-up. He wanted my last personal fund, the one untouched by our joint account. He thought I was too broken to notice, too weak to fight. I met Daniels again, showing him the fake contract. "He's trying to wipe me out," I said, my voice cold. Daniels's jaw tightened. "This is criminal fraud, Emily. We'll bury him." I returned home, brewed tea, and applied red lipstick for the first time in months, its waxy scent grounding me. Daniels emailed, "We have enough. The recordings, the transfers, the fraud, it's airtight. Say the word and we move." That afternoon, Nathan left for the pharmacy. I knew he was headed to the condo. I called the bank, freezing all accounts, my voice steady as I confirmed my identity. I texted Vanessa from my phone. "I see you, both of you." Then I powered it off. Wearing my mother's red blouse and jeans, I looked in the mirror and saw myself, alive, unbroken, fierce, At Daniels' office, we filed the complaint, attaching every shred of evidence: bank statements, emails, the lease, the fake contract, the recordings. The assets in Nathan's and Vanessa's names were frozen pending investigation. When Nathan returned, the locks were changed. A note waited on the door. "You tried to bury me, but I'm still breathing." His calls flooded Lauren's phone, where I stayed.
"Emily, what the hell did you do?"
he screamed in a voicemail.
"You're ruining everything out of spite."
I sipped tea, watching the chaos unfold on my tablet. Vanessa fled, dumping the leased car and vanishing. The condo was seized. I tipped off a local news outlet anonymously, and the next day, a headline blared: "Local man accused of embezzling dying wife's inheritance." Neighbors whispered, colleagues shunned him, and Nathan's carefully curated life unraveled. Days later, Nathan showed up at Lauren's office where I was staying. His face was haggard, his voice desperate.
"Emily, please,"
he begged, grabbing my arm.
"This is a mistake. I was lost, manipulated by Vanessa. I love you."
I yanked free, my eyes blazing.
"Love?"
"You stole my mother's legacy, Nathan. You gave her my father's watch, my pearls. You planned a new life with her while I was dying." He flinched, stammering.
"It wasn't like that. I was trying to—"
"Stop lying!" I shouted, my voice echoing. "I have recordings, Nathan. You and Vanessa wanted me dead. You're done for." Lauren stepped in, pulling him away. "Get out or I call the police," she warned. He left, head bowed, his defeat palpable. At the preliminary hearing, Nathan played the victim.
"I was seduced,"
he sobbed, his lawyer nodding.
"Vanessa manipulated me. I was desperate."
I stood, scarf gone, my regrowing hair a symbol of my strength. "Desperate?" I said, my voice cutting through the courtroom. "You weren't desperate when you bought a $425,000 condo with my money, or when you gave her my father's watch, my mother's pearls. You weren't desperate when you laughed about me fading fast in your texts." The judge's eyes narrowed, the room hushed. "Or when you forged a clinic to steal my last fund," the judge added, his tone icy. Daniels whispered, "He's finished, Emily." The sentence came weeks later. 4 years in prison, no parole. Full restitution of stolen funds. Vanessa got 2 years for her role. Nathan begged in court, his voice breaking.
"Emily, please. I'll break in there. Have mercy."
I met his gaze, unyielding. "You broke me first, Nathan. You thought I'd die quietly. You were wrong." The gavel fell, and justice felt like a deep, clean breath. At my final chemo session, Sarah and the nurses cheered. My tumor was shrinking, my scans promising. "You're a warrior, Emily," Sarah said, hugging me. I cut my regrowing hair into a pixie style, got a tattoo of an H for Harper on my wrist, and started walking in the park, the grass cool under my feet. Nathan lives with his mother now, shunned by their community, his name synonymous with shame. I attended a local gala he once headlined, now celebrated as a survivor. Heads turned, not with pity, but with awe. "That's Emily Harper," they whispered. "She fought cancer and won. Twice." Revenge wasn't Nathan's suffering. It was my joy, my peace, my life reclaimed. My mother always said, "The strongest revenge is living well, Emily." I cook her recipes now, wear her red blouse, and sleep soundly, my scans clean, my heart whole. The scars remain, but they're badges of survival, not defeat. If this story moved you, subscribe and leave a comment for Emily. I rid everyone. Share your own stories of strength below. You're tougher than you know, and together we rise.